They tell you your country is stable. They tell you the economy is strong. They tell you everything is under control. But if that were true, why is every nation drowning in debt? Why do your savings buy less every year? And why does the system only seem stable until the moment it suddenly isn't? Because what you're about to see isn't part of the official story. It's the part you were never meant to notice. Now let's begin. 1. The illusion of stability. For decades, the global economy appeared stable. Currencies held their value, interest rates stayed predictable, and governments assured their citizens that everything was under control. But stability was never real. It was engineered, maintained through selective data, temporary fixes, and a financial architecture designed to hide structural weakness rather than repair it. Behind the reassuring speeches and polished indicators, a slow, silent erosion was underway. 2. When debt became the system. Public debt was once a last resort, a temporary bridge during moments of crisis. But over time, governments discovered a dangerous loophole. Borrowing had no immediate consequences. If tax revenues fell, they borrowed. If growth slowed, they borrowed more. If crises emerged, they borrowed at unprecedented levels. Debt stopped being a tool. It became the operating system of modern economies. Nations began rolling over old debt with new debt, a process that works only as long as lenders continue to believe the charade. The policy shift that changed everything. In the late 20th century, major economies embraced a radical idea: that money could be expanded indefinitely without triggering collapse. Central banks slashed interest rates, flooded markets with liquidity, and treated monetary policy as a solution to every political problem. Quantitative easing, originally an emergency measure, became routine. Balance sheets exploded. Part P. Currency supply detached from real economic output. This wasn't growth. It was leverage, disguised as progress. 4. The hidden tax, inflation by design. Inflation is not an accident. It is a mechanism. When a government prints money, it doesn't create wealth, it reallocates it. Value flows from the public to the state as purchasing power erodes. Savings shrink. Real wages fall. Assets inflate far beyond fundamentals. People are told that prices rise naturally, but the truth is far darker. Inflation is engineered to dilute national debt and sustain an unsustainable system. It is a silent tax the public never voted for. Interest rates, the trap that cannot be escaped. Low interest rates were sold as a path to prosperity. In reality, they created a global dependency. Cheap borrowing encouraged governments, corporations, and citizens to take on more debt than ever before. Entire economies became interest rate addicts. Now, central banks face an impossible choice. If they raise rates, the system breaks. If they keep them low, inflation accelerates and currencies decay. Both paths lead to instability. But only one is visible to the public. The other is kept in the shadows. 6. The debt spiral replacing real growth. Modern economic growth is no longer driven by productivity or innovation. It is driven by leverage. Nations borrow to fund spending. Consumers borrow to maintain their lifestyle. Corporations borrow to inflate their own stock prices. Debt to GDP ratios reach historic highs, yet governments insist everything is normal. But numbers do not lie. When a nation's debt grows faster than its output, collapse becomes a matter of timing, not theory. A world built on borrowed time. Global debt now exceeds global GDP by multiple times. No country, not the United States, not China, not Europe, can pay back what it owes. The only strategy left is delay. Roll the debt forward. Print more currency. Hope confidence remains intact. But confidence is fragile. It evaporates in hours. And when it does, the entire structure begins to crack. 8. The dark reality. Nations aren't rich, they're insolvent. Governments present themselves as powerful and wealthy. In truth, most are functionally insolvent. They rely on constant borrowing, artificial growth figures, inflation that steals quietly from citizens, central banks that manipulate markets to maintain the illusion of stability. This isn't prosperity. It's managed decline, a controlled descent into a future where currencies weaken, debt expands, and ordinary people carry the weight of the system. When you understand the system, the illusion ends. Because once you see how modern finance truly works, how money is created from debt, how inflation is weaponized, and how governments use complexity to distract from insolvency, the picture becomes clear. Countries aren't collapsing by accident. They're collapsing by design. The real question isn't, why is every country broke? It's, how long can they hide it? Once you see the truth, there's no going back. Because when you finally wake up, you can hear the system collapsing long before the rest of the world notices. If you want more videos that expose the hidden mechanics of global finance, make sure to like the video and subscribe.